Hey everyone, happy Friday. Welcome to Elijahstreams. It is August 14th, 2026. I'm Kelsey O'Malley filling in today for Steve Schultz. We are pre-recording this episode, and Cindy McGill is here. She's going to talk all about dreams today, which I love when Cindy shares on dreams because she's been doing dream interpretation for a very, very long time. In fact, she's taught courses on it. She's written a book on it. She leads teams out in the street. And it's a great way to learn how to minister to the lost. And so she's going to talk about the importance of dreams and the role that they're going to play in the future. She's also going to be interpreting some dreams on the show today. So it's going to be excellent. Very excited. I am super excited to be hosting my guest today. She is the founder of Freedom Lounge. She's an author, a speaker. She has such a beautiful, mothering heart to reach the lost. And when you think of reaching the lost, maybe you think, oh, well, someone that's in my church that maybe is kind of doesn't know what to do or where to go, doesn't really understand Jesus. And when she reaches the lost, it is going into places that you're not used to hearing about. Places like Burning Man, pagan festivals. She's going to like which type of celebrations where they will celebrate and have these parades with the occult and these big new age festivals and fairs. And Cindy's right there in the middle with her tent with Freedom Lounge, leading people to Jesus. And she's learned how to use Words That Work. That's one of her books. And I love when she's on the show. So please help me welcome Cindy McGill to the program. Cindy, hi. Welcome back. Always a pleasure to have you on.
It's becoming a habit.
I know. I love it. This is
I
a
do
good
too.
habit that we formed.
I
I love
know.
thinking about all that you do, and you have such a wonderful assignment in ministry and boldness on your life, because you think of people talking about evangelism, or at least what we've been taught in the church, and it doesn't look like what you're doing, because you are going to these places and you are sharing Jesus in such an authentic and beautiful way that resonates with people that are way different than what we're used to. They're way outside of the scope of people we may hang out with or be around. And so that's just so exciting for you to come on and share with us, what God's taught you. And I know today we're talking about dreams,
Yes.
but you do a lot of dream interpretation at these New Age festivals and Burning
Yeah.
Man. I'm sure you guys do dream interpretation there.
Oh, all the time. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. It's actually one of the best bridges, I would say, to build a trust bridge into someone's heart is to ask them. I'm a dream interpreter, and maybe you've had a dream that you can't forget, or one that you have. It's so strong in you, that you just need to share it. And they're always, it seems to me, I mean, I just have done this for now. Oh my goodness, what did I start in the late 90s doing dream interpretation, because we were having so many of them ourselves. But then we started taking it to the streets and find out what other people are dreaming, because according to Joel 2:28, in the last days, which I know we're in the last days, it would be hard to say we're not, right?
Mm-hmm.
He said, I will pour out my spirit on all flesh. And that means, and your young men and women will prophet, or your daughters will prophesy, and your old men and women will dream dreams. And so we just think about that in context of the world. And you were talking about the way that people are today, and we're in a whole new era.
Yes.
People have not been brought up in church. They don't have any reference for God, Jesus, any of that language. That's why it's so interesting when I see people and they're trying, right? Everyone's trying. We all are.
Yeah.
All of us. I don't discount anyone's efforts to try and get people in front of the one who can help them, right? the
Yes.
creator, the one who put them together, and Jesus, the one is the only way to God. And so, but the way that we've noticed is that it's a brainwashing assignment from hell that
Mm.
has been over people, especially the younger people, generation X, Y, Z, and I guess Alpha, and it's taught in public schools.
Yeah.
It's taught through the internet. When we were growing up, didn't have internet. We didn't have all the nonsense and the reels, and
Yes.
we didn't have the over sexualized stuff that's being vomited up basically from hell for these young people. They don't know that it's not right. I mean, they have an appetite, developed an appetite for it. So how do we then communicate with them? How do we talk to them or have them open up to us, right? And so dream interpretation has been a very successful and a God-given way for us to be able to communicate with them.
Mm.
Otherwise, they would consider us religious, churchy, church lady, whatever. And so we had to create language that made sense to them and help them understand, just by even them telling us a dream. It'll give us a window into their life.
Mm. So
It'll
good.
help us understand what they're made of, or what their focus is, or how um they're perceiving today's life, the way that they're living it, right?
Yeah.
And so we've been wading through this thing. I know when we first started, because we've pastored how many years, 4 churches, I don't know, and born again in the Jesus movement. I say that all the time. So people have an understanding of, we're just not coming off the block. We've been
Mm-hmm.
around and we've seen a lot of things
Yeah.
and gone through a lot of moves of God. But when people say, well, that's new age, what you're doing is new age. And I said, no, no, it's Genesis. And on top of it, because God gave it as a tool of turnaround, of repentance, because the church hasn't been using the gift of dream interpretation,
Mm-hmm.
like Joseph in Genesis 39, 40, 41, and Daniel.
Mm.
The whole book of Daniel was a dream interpreter. And because we dropped the ball and we didn't pick it up and we didn't value it and see how important it was, the new age picked it up.
Mm-hmm.
And so now we have a bunch of people that are having dreams that are very significant
Yes.
in their lives, and telling them, giving them warnings, giving them direction, giving them a spiritual experience and an encounter.
Yes.
A lot of Muslims are getting saved in dreams,
So cool.
documented. And
Yes.
they're literally, Jesus is showing up to them in such a way that there's no way they can deny or say, this didn't happen to me. They wake up and they're instantly leaving, the Muslim uh, practices and everything, and they're following Jesus.
Amen.
And I kind of liken it to when Jesus passed by and Peter was fishing, right?
Mm.
He passed by, and Peter was just doing his job, right? I can't say that he was a spiritual seeker of any kind at that time. But what he did is, it said immediately he dropped his net and he went and followed Jesus when Jesus said, "Follow me,
Mm.
and I'll make you fishers of men." And I feel like what happens when Jesus shows up like that, and we've had those in part. We've had, you know, I don't think we've had one of those, earth shaking where it's glowing and the whole room is lit up, and dark in the dark, and Jesus is standing there. Some people have.
Mm-hmm.
I have not personally had that. I have, though, had encounters with Jesus where I knew it was him.
Yes.
Um, but I think when he shows up in such a way, there's such a power and there's such a authority,
Yes.
and there's something that makes you immediately stop what you're doing and start following.
Yeah.
And that's what I think we're seeing now with
Mm.
this generation. And I wanted to talk about the importance of dreams, what God thinks about them,
Yeah.
because we have, like I said, we haven't really paid too much attention to what it is. But God thought it was important enough that when Jesus was getting ready to be born, he was getting ready to come to earth the first time ever, that the father of Jesus, Joseph, had 4 dreams in Matthew 1 and 2. You can look at and see them, 4 dreams, how to keep him alive.
Mhm.
How to keep him alive. And I think this was the most pivotal time since the creation of man and of the world, that it was so important that God brought a dream of instruction to Joseph. That was the most convincing of all communication types.
Mm.
And God used a dream, 4 dreams, to tell him what to do so that Jesus would live and fulfill his destiny and what he came for.
Now, Cindy, I have a question quickly. I'm
Mhm.
sorry, I want to interject.
Oh, no, go ahead.
So he had 4 dreams where God was guiding him to protect Jesus.
Yeah.
Do you think that the pattern of like dream after dream is something that we can say happens today with people who say, like, oh, I know I'm a dreamer? And then
Mhm.
maybe you hear someone else go, oh, well, I don't have a lot of dreams, but God speaks to me in this way. Do you think Joseph was like that was one of the gifts God gave him on his life?
I think Joseph was scared.
Okay. Okay.
I think he was scared. I mean,
Yeah.
here he was just coming back from wherever he was, and Mary, they're engaged, which is just like being married. Everyone knew it.
Mm-hmm.
And she tells him what happened, and he's freaking out. Like,
Yeah.
I mean, according to the law of Moses, he was supposed to stone her publicly.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. If because she would be caught in an adulterous situation.
Yeah.
Joseph
Mm-hmm.
didn't do it.
Right.
And so, well, I can almost just put him on the human side for a minute because he was human.
Mm-hmm.
And it says in I think it's Matthew 1, it says, and Joseph, being a just man,
Mm-hmm.
didn't want to put her away publicly. And so when I read it and God was teaching me about the importance of these types of dreams, I read it in the Bible in Joseph being just a man. That's how I read it. And I went, "Oh, no, it says being a just man." But God said to me, "No, he was just a man." And I thought, "Okay, well, let's bring it to a human element here, right?"
Mm-hmm.
He wasn't supernaturally anointed to do this. He was just a man,
Yeah.
and he was trying to figure it out. And if he didn't do what he was supposed to according to the law of Moses, which would be to publicly put her away, and he had struggled to probably figure out, what do I do in
Yeah.
this situation? I mean, I believe her,
Mm-hmm.
I don't think she's lying to me. And what is and I'm not familiar with supernatural overshadowings that would create a pregnancy in my fiance,
Yep.
right? Let's
Yes.
just put it in very practical, understandable
And it never
terms.
happened before.
Never happened before, never heard of it,
Yeah.
you know? And so while he was struggling, it says he fell into a deep sleep, which tells me he had exhausted himself. He had exhausted all of his thoughts and plans. And what do I do? And I'm going to be stoned along with her if I don't follow this law.
Wow.
And I think he was scared. I
Mm.
do. And I think that in that time, that's when the angel appeared to him and said, "Don't be afraid."
Yes.
You know, she is conceived by the Holy Spirit, a baby, and his name will be called Jesus. And I'm
Yes.
like, oh my gosh, like, aren't we there? Aren't we there in our own humanness? and we have a dream, and it's a God-given dream, and it gives us a whole clear picture of
Mhm.
what just happened.
And the peace it must have brought to him.
Well, yeah.
Yeah.
Now the first thing was don't be afraid. Don't you love it when angels show up and they say, don't be afraid? Why do they say that? Well, because you probably are.
Yeah. Yeah.
You probably are afraid. You're like, what in the, where did you come from and who are you and why are you in this room? And
Yes.
but the first always almost the opening statement of introduction for angels is don't be afraid, you know. And so I started thinking about how just the human side of all of this. And in each dream that Joseph was given was a direction dream.
Mhm.
It was to tell him, I want you to take him out of here because Herod wants him dead.
Mhm.
Herod, wants him to die. He wants him to be killed. And Herod knew, if you think about it, let's put it together with what we're living in right now.
Okay.
Where's the target?
Children.
Children, babies.
Mhm.
Just I think it was yesterday, a Massachusetts, is it a governor, wrote into law that a baby could be born up until the time of death, or die up until the time of birth,
Could be aborted even up to
aborted,
birth.
even at birth. hmm
Wow.
And I thought, this is a Herod spirit.
It's the same thing that he was doing.
And why? Why is that? Because Jesus is getting ready to come back.
Mm. Wow, I didn't
So
even
it's
link
it's a
that.
mirror. It's a
Yeah.
mirror. Jesus is getting ready to be born. There's a Herod spirit that's after the children, that don't want them to fulfill their destiny, don't want them to fulfill their purpose. And now here we are years later,
Yeah.
and Jesus is getting ready to come back, and a Herod spirit is still around trying
Mm.
to kill innocents, trying
Yes.
to kill children, trying to keep their voice silent, trying to keep them from being to be able to breathe and to live. And I thought, God knows what to do. He knows how
Mm.
to instruct people. He knows how to instruct parents on how to take care of your children. How
Yes.
do you rescue them? How do you keep them from the kinds of mental, delusional thinking without common
Indoctrination.
sense, right? That is completely from hell,
That's right.
that will mess up people's minds and their thinking and their inability to have critical thinking, think for themselves. They're being told what to do. And then that comes up with all of the things that are happening right now. You can watch it roll out. It's in 2 Timothy, and it talks about all the darkness and all the things. People be haters of lovers of pleasure rather than lovers of God. They're going to give up their family to be killed, thinking they're doing God a favor. I mean, all these things are happening right now.
Yeah.
And so you're looking at this and you're thinking, well, then what the heck? Like, where's my escape? It's almost like the Matrix. I need an exit.
Mhm.
I need an exit. And then automatically, God, in a dream, will
Yeah.
give you solutions, will give you understanding, will give you a way in the wilderness where there seems to be no way. He will give you specific information on what you need to do, not just to escape something horrific that could be
Yep.
coming your way,
Yep.
but also to give you strategies
Mm.
on how to fight the battle. Now, there's not one battle in the Bible that was won without strategy.
Yeah.
Not one. Every battle had a strategy. And so now God is giving us strategies on how to not only make it through these
Yes.
dark times where deep darkness has covered people, but he's also giving us authority,
Mm.
and he's giving us a specific instruction on how to carry out thy will be done on this
Mhm.
earth, just
Mm.
like it is in heaven, right?
Yes.
And he's warning people in dreams. I know you were bringing up earlier about Pontius Pilate's wife
Mhm.
before Jesus was getting ready to be crucified.
Yep.
She had a very disturbing, a riveting dream of before his crucifixion, telling um, telling him not to deal with this guy. In other words, don't touch this man.
Yeah, don't harm Jesus.
Don't
He's
harm
innocent.
him. And Pontius Pilate washed his hands of the whole thing, remember?
Yes, I do.
And turned to the crowd and said, "Who do you want on the cross?" And the very people that he'd healed, raised from the dead, taken care of, healed their sick, cleansed their lepers, done everything, were the ones yelling, "Crucify him."
Yeah.
And it had to be done. Now, so that's the whole story of the cross, of salvation, that he died for us. He took, and then he went into hell, stripped Satan of his power,
Yes.
took all the authority up into heaven, and then gave it to us.
Amen.
The thing is, we're not using it.
Mm-hmm.
I just remember, and I'm going to stay on the topic of dreams, but I remember there was a group of pastors that met in a city, and I know where it is, and the city was out of control, just out of control. This was about maybe 3 years ago. I mean, they are out of control now, right? I mean, you just
Yeah,
look
there are
around.
many. Yeah.
And the pastors were all gathered together in this one room to hear this person. And this guy gave him a challenge and said, "You know what? You have to be out there. In other words, you can't expect the church inside of itself to be the answer. You have to be among them. You have to be out in places and be able to communicate truth to them so that they can understand." And one by one, they raised their hands and they said, we are willing to do it. We just don't know how.
Mm.
Well, dreams will be one of the ways that you can communicate with people that are God hardened.
Yeah. So
Dreams
good.
will be one of the ways that you can say to them, and God is so great about giving them a dream the night before you're
Yes.
going to meet them.
Yes.
I love it.
Me
I mean,
too.
I've done this for a number of years now, and I'm beyond now the element of shock when I hear someone say, "I just had a dream." Oh my gosh, I'm not normally a dreamer, but last night I had this dream. And it's almost like God went, "Yep, I gave him a dream last night knowing that you were going to be out at this fairground or this pagan festival or this LGBTQ community or this Burning Man event or
Yep.
this a porn convention or whatever."
Mm-hmm.
And I gave them a dream knowing they were going to meet you and you were going to be able to explain to them the message, because it will be one of those that they can't shake off.
Mm-hmm.
It's going to be a disturbing type dream, just like Pontius Pilate's wife. It will be one of those types of dreams that is so like, "Oh my goodness, what just happened to me? Why am I having this kind of impacting dream that I can't even do my job? I can't even communicate. Like it's rolling around inside of me over and over and over because
Yes.
it was given to you through your spirit and not just, one you can wake up and forget.
Mm-hmm.
And it will be the thing I like about God-given dreams is that they keep coming up, keep coming up, they keep coming up, keep coming up. And so as we look at this, we look now at when God, gave Pharaoh a dream, right?
Mm-hmm.
So if we look at Genesis 41, okay, and it basically, Pharaoh had a dream, one of cows, one of wheat. And you can go back and read it for yourself. I'm not going to read it for you. But this is the important part of when we go out, do we say, "Have you had a dream that you've had more than one time?"
Mm.
Because now they're like, "Oh my gosh, yes, I have this reoccurring dream." Well, here's your answer. It says, "And the dream was repeated to Pharaoh twice, two different elements. One was cows, one was wheat. But this thing is established by God. and God will shortly bring it to pass. So
Mm.
basically, when they say, I've had a repetitive dream over and over again for the last 5 years,
Yeah.
and you're like, well, the reason why you're having it over and over is because there is something of a message that you need to understand that is going to protect you
Yeah.
from something happening. In other
Mhm.
words, there is a spiritual connection here with the creator of the universe, the one who made you,
Mm.
about your direction so that you don't get take out of here early, you
Mhm.
know? And then in Job 33:14 through 18, it says, God may speak one way, then another, but man doesn't perceive it. Now, we hear this all the time when we're out where people are unchurched. God may speak one way or another, but man doesn't perceive it, even in the
Yep.
church.
Yep.
Man doesn't perceive it. In
Yes.
a dream, in a vision of the night, when deep sleep falls upon men. Now, that's what happened with Joseph in Genesis, or in Matthew, the father of Jesus, Joseph. Deep sleep fell upon him.
Mm.
And while slumbering on their beds, he opens the ears of men and seals their instruction in order to turn man back from his deed. It's a warning
Wow.
dream,
Wow.
and conceal pride from man and keeps him back from his soul from the pit and his life from perishing by the sword.
Wow.
Now,
Wow.
you tell me, everybody listening, that is a warning dream. That's in Job. Listen, God speaks one way, then another. When I talk about this is going to be, dreams will be a major player in the days ahead, it's because God's going to warn you about
Yeah.
stuff.
Yes.
He's going to warn you to keep you from being in that spot at that time. Just recently, it was today, I think, that somebody had posted, is anybody having earthquake dreams? It was on Facebook.
Uh-huh.
And I was like, oh my gosh, yes, people are having dreams about earthquakes.
Mhm.
And someone said, I had a dream of the Columbia earthquake
Wow.
twice before it
Wow.
happened. I saw it in my dream.
Wow.
And so, when you have a dream like that, what do you do with it? Well, if you have people that you know in Colombia,
Mhm.
you need to say to them, I've had a dream that a very powerful earthquake is going to hit. I don't know when.
Mhm.
People have said that all along to different ones that have had prophetic instruction about earthquakes and that
Yeah.
kind of thing. And they're like, well,
Yes.
how come you don't know when? Well, if God doesn't tell you when, you're not going to know when. And
Exactly.
according to prophecy, you see in part and you prophesy in part. You can't give out what you don't have.
Yep.
But if you have a dream where there's two dreams, two, why? Because God is establishing something. Is it that God's doing it? No, He's just warning you
Yes.
of something,
Preparing.
preparing you.
Yeah,
Prepare.
absolutely.
Get ready for Get ready for this.
Yes.
And because this can be catastrophic if you're in the wrong place at the wrong time. But it did come to pass. Now
Mhm.
that's a wake up call for
Yep.
people that are having a dream about, I felt a shaking, I felt an earthquake. Earthquake dreams are increasing. I'm hearing them all the time. These are
Now,
from people that are on college campuses. These are from people that are in coffee shops. These are from people, I overhear conversations in
mhm.
airports
Mhm.
about people saying, I just had this crazy dream about earthquakes, and I'm turned around,
Yeah, you're in the perfect place. Yes.
I turn around, excuse me. I couldn't help but overhear you
Yeah.
about these earthquake dreams. Tell me more. Tell me more about your dream about earthquakes, or whatever it might be. Tsunami dreams are increasing right now. There's a lot of dreams um, I'm having a dream that I'm birthing something,
Mm.
and I'm a grandmother or whatever. I had a dream
Past
about
that
that, and I'm
age.
like,
Yeah.
you know, but it has to do with something, a brand new something that you're going to be responsible to nurture and to grow into its true identity,
Mhm.
right? So, what are our strategies about upcoming events that we don't know about yet? What are we supposed to do about certain things that we perceive or think about? There's a chance that,
Yeah.
or you get an inclination, or maybe you have just an open vision. Those are happening a lot now too, open
Yes.
visions. And you see something ahead. Well, what do? Well, the first thing that you want to do is you want to pray.
Mhm.
That's why my husband Tim has got every Monday night, he's got prayer, prophetic prayer. Every
Okay.
Monday night. He won't miss it. We even had an anniversary, and he
Oh,
didn't
yes,
want to miss.
happy anniversary.
Yeah, I know. I was like, "You're going to do the prayer thing?" Yes, I'm doing the prayer thing. And so, um, and then every other night, every other Wednesday night, he's got family prayer for your families individually, for your prayer, because prayer will, you get people together in agreement. If any two or three or more of you are gathered in my name, you can ask anything and I will do it for you. So we
Yes.
have not paid attention too much to that type of instruction. Jesus said, if any two or more of you agree as
Yes.
touching, you can ask, you know,
Right.
and that the faith is rising on the inside of people. So we have so many of these types of dreams that are happening that
Now,
are,
Cindy, quickly before we
yeah,
go into more of about that, if
hmm,
I have an earthquake dream or I have a tsunami dream,
uh-huh,
does it is it always every time meaning there's going to be an actual earthquake in that location, or is there when we have a dream like that, say I had a earthquake dream and I was somewhere and, it was shaking, does it
hmm,
always mean actual earthquake, or do I go to the Holy Spirit, go to the Lord and say, does this mean an actual earthquake, or is this signifying something else?
both.
Okay.
You want to definitely pay attention to, especially if you know the location.
Okay.
If you know the location, then you need to pray into that and get a bunch of people around you who can
Mm-hmm.
agree that God would have mercy, you
Yeah.
know.
Yes.
Um but if you don't have a location and you just feel the shaking
Mm-hmm.
happening, then again you need to go before the Lord and say, okay, why are you giving me this? Like,
Okay.
what's happening? Because there's a big shaking going on in the spirit realm right now, and
Mm-hmm.
actually it's reflected on the earth.
Yep.
I mean, and now people are starting to wake up and pay attention, and the church has definitely got to wake up. I
Mm-hmm.
mean, I don't care what denomination you are. I don't care if you believe that Jesus is the Son of God and you're born again, you wake up, period,
Yep.
and
Yes.
start being available and allow God to
Amen.
show you his plan on how he wants you to intervene in situations where people are not taking office that don't belong there.
Yeah. School boards that don't belong there,
School boards
teachers.
that don't belong there. I think I
Yes.
saw today there was a huge increase of public schools that don't have students in them now.
Really?
Because people are pulling their kids out of public schools because of the nonsense that they're being taught. They're not even being taught history. They're
Yeah.
not being taught civics. They're not being taught, they're being it's an agenda
Mm-hmm.
that
Mm-hmm.
they're trying to warp and deceive the younger
Yes.
generation so that they don't have a real understanding of what history is. I also heard, and I don't know if it's true or not, but I'm just going to spew it out because I do that that
Cindy.
they weren't teaching kids cursive. You know
Oh,
how we write checks and stuff, and we used to write in cursive, right? And I heard something the other day that made sense to me. Whether it's right or not, I don't know. So
okay.
don't be throwing arrows at me. But I thought, well, the Constitution
Uh-huh.
was written in cursive.
Mm.
The Constitution of our own country was written in cursive.
They don't want them to be able to read it. Would make sense.
It makes
Well,
sense.
I know family that my kids go to private school and they teach them cursive, but family that goes to public school has no idea what cursive even is.
Right.
They don't teach it.
No. They're
So,
having to now, in Texas anyway.
okay.
Oh, yeah. I
I don't
think,
think they do in Georgia. And the same reading a regular clock.
yes.
They're not teaching that as well. My
Yeah.
kids know how to
The
read
hands
a
of a clock.
watch. Yeah,
Right.
they're
Hmm.
not teaching that. There are some kids who don't know how to tell time
That's right.
unless it's just like
It's
an
digital.
Apple Watch. Yeah,
Yeah. Like what's behind you.
right. What
Yeah.
I can't believe that they wouldn't
Well,
know.
they want to dumb them down,
Mhm.
and they want to make them ignorant of what their history is, because history repeats itself.
Yes.
And they also want to make them ignorant so that they don't have the tools in their hands in order to navigate life moving forward.
Yes.
And so here again, where's the attack? The attack is on, it's on children. It's
Mhm.
on kids.
Mhm.
It's on Gen X, Gen Z, and Alpha.
Mhm.
Gen X, Y, Z, and whatever.
Yeah,
All of
alpha.
the back of the alphabet and the first of it. And so it's like, so all of these things are in an effort. It's an agenda to
Mhm.
keep them stupid,
Yeah.
so that they don't know what they're doing. So, as a family, we're teaching our grandkids,
Mm.
and my daughters are teaching their kids, here's what a clock is, here's what it looks like, and
Yeah.
here's what the time is. And so, and here's the letters, and here's the cursive letters, this kind of thing. So
Yes.
they're working with teaching them what needs to be taught, you know.
Mhm.
And I have a friend whose husband is retired military. He's disabled vet in the Marines. In the
Mm.
Marines. He got out, the government paid for him to go to college.
Mhm.
He went back to school to become a 7th grade history teacher. He teaches
Mm.
history and he teaches civics.
Awesome.
And he's a patriot.
Awesome.
And I talk about him all the time because I'm thinking about, okay, what about the other people? What about all you guys now that have retired from the military and you've
Mhm.
been given, a college, a grant basically, or you don't even have to pay it back. It's just school money for
Mhm.
you to go and be re-educated to be effective in the school system,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
take your place and begin to teach what really needs to be taught.
Yes. That's so
And
true.
so I'm like, it's almost like evil advances when good men do nothing.
Mhm.
I forget what the name of the
Right.
guy is that wrote that, but it was so true. Y'all have put it
Yes.
up there in the things. Um,
Yes.
and I was like, this is exactly where we're at right now. So dreams are going to be, again, a major player,
Mhm.
because if they're not taught here, God will teach you there.
Yeah.
If you don't have counselors here, God
Yes.
will be your counselor here in the night
Amen.
season when
Amen.
you're done trying to figure it out, and you call out to him and you're like, God, I need wisdom.
Mm.
I need understanding. I need for you to show me what it is that I need to do. Where do you need me? What is my placement? What is happening in the world that I need to give a voice to?
Mm.
What is it that you're showing me in my dream that I need to make public? Or sometimes he'll say, don't share it. Don't share it. Not right now. It's not the time, but you can jot it down in your journal and date it. Always date it so that you can go back and go, this is when I had this dream. And this is when I felt released to share it, or
Yeah.
this is when it happened.
Now,
This is when that thing happened.
Cindy, are a lot of children beginning to have dreams? And is that another way? Because, like, as we see the enemy coming and attacking there, we're seeing God respond. And I know my own kids will always share with me, like, if they had a God dream, because they
Yeah.
know.
Hmm.
And they'll come ask me, I saw this, or God showed me this. And it's incredible the biblical things that my kids have seen in dreams, and they don't even know that
No.
that type of angel's in the Bible. And I'm like, "Oh my gosh, you saw
Right.
this?" And
Mhm.
it's just so incredible how God's doing that with their generation.
Well, they're actually born for this time.
Mm,
And they're born, I think, with a real strong prophetic gift on the inside of them. They're wired that way. We
mm,
weren't so much, you know. We were just goofing around. We were the baby boomers, you know. We're just playing around, swimming and having fun and horseback riding and whatever else we did as kids. We
yeah.
weren't really tuned into the spiritual aspect of life, you know.
Mhm.
But now, since things have become so dark and they become so really there's a lot of terror,
Mhm.
even in the commercials and in movies. And I know I always hate it around Halloween because they always bring out these horrible, horrific, and they just think, oh, it's just entertainment. You know, well, it's not entertainment, it's indoctrination.
It is
It's
on people's front
indoctrination.
lawns. You
You,
can't.
yeah,
Oh
you,
gosh, yeah.
you can't have, you can't have one without the other. You know,
Mhm.
you can't have, either hot or cold. You've got to decide what it is because you can't just sit in front of a horror movie
Mhm.
because it gives you this shock and oh my gosh, because it's dumbing you down in your own emotions to
Yeah.
accept it.
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
Yes, to that
And
evil's normal and you're used to seeing that. And
Mhm.
I think that do demonic type of horror movies open up a whole different side of dreaming too,
Oh
don't
yeah, it's
they?
portal. It's a portal for sure. Where do you think it comes from?
Yeah, Satan.
I mean, I went to the Sundance Film Festival. This is independent film. This
Mhm.
is film from just filmmakers that either were famous or are even not famous yet, right? And some of the content from the dreams, because it's independent, so they had no age of when people could go in and see these films. All they had to do is buy a ticket.
Okay.
And so it was in Park City, Utah, and we went I think 8 or 9 years. I had 50 dream interpreters on the
Wow.
streets
Wow.
of the Sundance Film Festival. And this is back in the 2000s, early 2000s. And some of the films that they put out were so demonic
Mm.
and they were so horrible. But little kids, as families, you know, well, this is a film festival. Let's just go and buy tickets and go see this film about these flesh eating cannibals that, you know, whatever. There was even a movie maker that made a big uh, splash, I guess. They always talk about on the streets, you can hear which dreams are making the most impact, right?
Mhm.
And one of them was a whole dream about abortionists, and they
Mm.
celebrated them. And
Wow.
in front of the film, they all clapped, everyone stood up and celebrated the abortionists who had made a film about how how merciful or how good it was or how it was helping people, you know, to
Wow.
have these abortions. And there were other people in the same theater that were like, "Oh my gosh, this is horrific."
Yeah.
Like
It's
you're
horrible.
killing a baby. You're killing a life. It's
Yes.
murder.
Yes.
And so you had the two going back and forth. And so here we are on the streets
Wow.
interpreting dreams, and some of the dreams were, you know, were like, "Oh my gosh, I didn't know this kind of thing was going on." So we could flip it around and go, "Well, here's what's really meant for you."
Yeah.
You know? Um, and I had a friend who actually had a dream who was on our team,
Mhm.
and he's extremely prophetic. He has a strong prophetic gift. And he had a dream during the festival. He said, I saw the ground open up
Mm.
and I saw demons come up out of the ground and vomit on the earth from
Wow.
hell.
Wow.
And people were running to eat it like cotton candy or like
Oh.
candy. And he said because they didn't know that it was just this, you know how the enemy comes as an angel of light to
Mhm.
deceive many. I know
Yes.
I'm getting thick in here. I can feel it.
No, it's
But
okay.
I'm like, you know what? Wake up, man. The world is running to this vomit that's been vomited up on the earth from demonic sources, and they're eating it like candy because it's sweet to their taste.
Wow.
And they want it, and they don't want the truth.
Yeah.
They don't want the truth. They just want something to satisfy them and make them sweet and make them feel good. But it
Yeah.
goes in and it creates an appetite for more.
Yeah.
And one of the things that the more is that they want to explore deeper because it has some kind of power.
Mm.
And in contrast,
Mhm.
we, the church, has been given all power and all
Amen.
authority, and yet it's absent. What happens what happens when the church is impotent? It's not powerful. It doesn't show itself to be powerful. In the last 2 years, I know personally
Mhm.
of about 8 to 10 people that are completely cancer free
Oh,
because Jesus healed them,
awesome.
because he's the healer,
That's
right?
right. Yes.
They have no more cancer.
Praise God.
What they were going to die from is now they're not going to die, they're going to live.
And
And it was because of healing power. We
yes.
this is just my own personal testimony, my own story. And so I'm looking at this thinking, not only do we need to wake up to what's going on culturally around
Mhm.
us
Mhm.
and what kids are being taught in schools, but we also need to wake up to the power and the authority and take it
Yeah.
and realize that these people don't know what Jesus is.
Mhm.
They don't know who he is. So to hold up a great big sign out in the middle of somewhere and say, Jesus loves you or whatever, it has some kind of power,
Mhm.
but they don't really know what that is.
Mhm.
They just know that you're not a bad person, maybe,
Yeah. Yeah.
but they don't have an idea of who he is.
Mhm.
And so that's our job, is to educate them and to give them an encounter.
Yes.
Get them in front of the one who can identify himself to them
Yes.
through an interpreted dream.
Yes.
Would you like to have an encounter with the one who gave you the dream?
Mm.
Yes, they all do. Now they're feeling the power of God, and now they're like, oh my gosh, they're being transformed. Why? Because they're in the presence of transformation power. Now
Yes.
they'll say, what is this? And you're like, well, I'm a follower of Jesus. That's where my power comes from. And Jesus is the Son of God. He's the only way to God.
Yes.
And so these other religions that cloak themselves in a religion, banner or robe or whatever, it's a political agenda
Mhm.
cloaked in religion in order to bypass all the laws so they can have their mosques and their whatever else out here.
Yeah.
And it's not a religion. It's a demonic agenda to try and wipe out what God wanted done.
Yes. Yes.
And the church doesn't want to hear it.
Mhm.
But we're like, have mercy. You know, there is an outpouring of the Holy Spirit. I can't wait for it to increase. And I know I'm reading it, I see it, I hear about it all the time. I get emails, I get posts, I get videos, I get all kinds of things. Look at these people. They all are worshiping God. There are all of these kids now, revivals breaking out and here and there. Is it sustainable?
Yes.
Because it can't be sustained without reformation.
Mhm.
There has to be reformation in order for revival to be sustained.
Yep.
Does that make sense?
Absolutely.
I know
Yes.
I'm way out.
No,
I'm
no.
way out there. I'm cast my net into the deep now.
No, it's true. There has to be reformation. And I think because of the huge shaking, it has helped so many people
Yeah,
realize that there is a spiritual battle going on. And if you're not being salt, what is, if salt is not used, it's good for nothing. It's trampled upon, right?
right.
You have to be salty. You have to share who Jesus is in unique ways. And through
Hmm.
dreams, it's a great way to have the ministry of reconciliation because it's a tool
He
to do
revealed
that.
himself
Mhm.
to people in dreams. And
Mhm.
that makes my job easy as an
Yes.
evangelist. I'm like, absolutely.
Yes.
Absolutely, he did. And so, and the other thing I'm hearing is that some people are now turning to Eastern religions,
Like,
Buddhism,
okay.
or they're turning to any kind of Eastern religion because of the structure,
Hmm.
because of the boundaries, because of the rules, because of the regulations. What they don't realize that it's velvet handcuffs. It actually doesn't set you free. It brings you into bondage
Yeah. Is
because
that
Jesus
like
set
you're a
you
good
free.
person and then you get rewarded type of thing?
Yes, and
Okay.
also they have, all kinds of different things that you must do in order to earn it, or to
Okay.
be
The
available, or
flesh
to.
loves that.
Mhm.
Uh-huh.
And it's a workable type thing. You have to work. It's a works mentality in some of
Mhm.
these religions. And so we learned about this years ago. And Jesus is the only one that did it all for you.
Amen.
But the thing is, we can have a an idea, we can have an understanding and a concept of what Jesus did for us, but deny its power, deny his
Mm.
power. And you can't do that. A form of religion. It's
Yeah.
it's it's a generational type thing,
Mhm.
and you can still deny his power. You can't deny his power anymore. In fact, I don't know how many people that are being saved right now are actually getting filled with the Holy Spirit.
Yeah.
And so for us at our
Mhm.
camp at Burning Man
Mhm.
and at places where we go, when they have an encounter, we also say, "You want to be filled
Yeah,
with the
amen.
Spirit of truth?" Absolutely. They speak in tongues.
Yep.
They do it. We never
Yes.
told them about that. We weren't
Right.
speaking in tongues ourselves.
Yeah, you
They
weren't telling them you're gonna do this or you're gonna say this.
We
It
didn't
would
tell them to do
naturally
anything.
flow. Yeah,
It's their own experience. It's their own encounter.
exactly.
And then they do, and we go, "Yeah, that's a special language. What was
Yeah.
that was coming out of my mouth?" And we'll go, "Well, that's a language. It's a spirit language that
Mhm.
actually connects you to the creator."
Yeah.
So that you can, and that spirit searches the heart of God. I call him God, and I'll say that now, and I've moved a little closer. I call
Mhm.
him God,
Mhm.
searches the heart of God, and makes understanding available to you so that you can
Amazing.
understand who is the one that just encountered you.
Amazing.
How did your life feel? What was it like 10 minutes ago? And what do you feel now? What is it that you experience now? What is your encounter like? And they're like, "I feel like my head got unfogged. I feel like my
Yeah.
eyes lit up. I feel like there's light. I feel like 500 pounds fell off my back." I mean, just
Oh.
keep going. It's like, and these are real things.
Mhm.
These are real encounters. These are not made up. They're not somebody else's story. My story.
Yeah.
It's my story. I've watched it. I've experienced it with them. And I'm like, oh my goodness, if the whole church would catch on fire with reformation, and we would take what God said we should have and we should occupy until he comes with that
Yeah.
kind of power, dunamis power, power
Yes.
that blows up the
That's
plan
right.
of the enemy
Yeah.
everywhere you go, then you're going to see a reformed, powerful, on fire, miracles flying, people's limbs growing out, dead people raised,
That's
name
right.
it. Just
Yes.
keep going down the list because unusual miracles are going to happen. He already told me that, unusual miracles. And I'm like, I've seen some pretty incredible miracles. I'm curious now, what kind of unusual miracles? And I believe that there will be a number. I mean, I'm looking around at Texas itself and
Mhm.
how many mosques have been built. And I
Mhm.
thought, what if they all have a dream encounter with Jesus and they all leave it,
Yeah.
and they all, now they're evangelists. Now
Yes.
they're
They're
now they're going to
marked.
tell other people.
Yes.
And now they're people are going to have it. This happened with the wise men in Matthew 2.
Uh-huh.
And the wise men, this is a dream encounter. So they were going to see Jesus, right? They were making their way. I always talk about this in people say, well, the Walmart nativity scene says that there were 3 wise men because they brought gold, frankincense, and myrrh.
Mhm.
But to my knowledge, wise men were seen coming and going out of Jerusalem all the time. So there could have been more than 3. But
Mm.
let's just, for the sake of the Walmart nativity scene, say that there were
Okay.
3. Okay.
Okay.
And the 3 of them went to find Jesus, and Herod had given them instruction. The one who wants to kill him gave them instruction to go find him and report back
Mhm.
and say, tell me where he is, because I want to worship him too. Hello, devil. You're not going to go worship Jesus. You're
Right.
going to try and kill him before he
Mhm.
ever completes his purpose here on earth, right?
Yes.
So that wise men, they get to the place where he is, and they present to him gold, frankincense, and myrrh. And then it says, after they had worshipped him, because they worshipped him, um, they fell into a sleep.
Mhm.
And then the Bible says, then they, being instructed by a dream not to return to Herod, which is against the law.
Do you think they all had the same dream?
They all had the same dream. Why would one of them
Wow.
have a dream and get up and tell the others?
Right.
Then, being divinely warned in a dream that they should not return to Herod, they all had the same dream because
Wow.
they were all there. Now they're all necks were on the same line.
Mhm.
If you don't return to Herod, Herod's going to send out a posse to find you and kill you because you're in disobedience to the king of what he wants you to do.
Yep.
That they should not return to Herod. They departed for their own country another way.
Mm.
So again, a direction dream. Go a different way.
Yeah.
Don't go back the same way you came, because Herod's going to try and kill you too because you're disobedient now. And you
Mhm.
didn't report, and you didn't bring a report of where he was.
Yeah.
And that's when he got, you know, ticked off to the point where he started killing all the babies 2 and under.
Yep.
And so I'm just looking at this going,
Wow.
what are we missing this?
Mhm.
Are we missing this?
Yep.
So you get a bunch of people who don't know Jesus, who don't understand, because you know what we've done? We've dumbed God down. We've
Mhm.
dumbed him down to say he's not as powerful as we think. It's all on me to do this or to do that. It is not.
Yeah, come on.
Big God, big problem, bigger God,
Yes.
bigger answer. He is the answer.
Yes.
He already knows what the future is going to look like. He's
Mm.
already there.
Yes.
When we go into the porn convention, I've already seen it. I've already been there. I know what their life is going to be like. I'm just going to use you to give them an interpreted dream or give them a word or take their hands and let them feel my power.
Mhm.
And they're going to fall apart because they know that this isn't the life that they're meant to have.
Yeah.
And
Yes.
then they want out.
Yes.
It's the sex industry. It's
Mhm.
driving human trafficking.
Right.
And so we're just in there going, hello,
Yeah.
we're dream interpreters.
Yeah, come on. Now, Cindy, people watching who are wondering how did you get trained in this, and then how did they learn more about dream interpretations? I'm going to give you a few examples in a moment where
Yeah.
you can give me the interpretation of what the dream means so people can see it in actual action,
Okay.
what it looks like. But
Okay.
how would you encourage people of like how should they train or get equipped better for dream interpretation? There's any class you would recommend?
Well, yes, of course. John Paul Jackson has got a lot of material on dream interpretation. He's who I learned from in the beginning. However, he was way advanced. He even wove quantum physics into it. Well, I'm
Wow.
just not that. I'm like,
You're like, I'm not that deep.
I'm going to go get a hot dog and popcorn because I don't know
Yeah.
what you just said.
Yeah.
And so as I was leading teams to do dream interpretation at the 2002 Winter Olympics, I was so bad at it. And that's not a joke. I was no good at this. I kept over
Oh,
interpreting. I kept focusing on the elements and trying to figure out what it could be meaning or this kind of thing. To the people were like, I gotta go. I've been here 30 minutes and you still haven't fit. And I was frustrated,
yeah.
and I was getting ready to just tell the rest of the team who were a little better than me. Um, and I was awful. And the Holy Spirit spoke to me and said, will you chill out? I know how to do this.
Mm.
So the first thing is to lean to God, to listen to him. In learning to listen to another person telling you their dream, you learn how to listen.
Mhm.
We need to learn to listen to hear instead of listen to respond.
That's good.
Does that make sense?
Yes,
And
absolutely.
so I did some courses on my own website, just little short ones. You can keep them forever. It's really it's very it's it's just I'm just probably sitting on a chair somewhere talking to a few people, but
Mhm.
I'm trying to give the elements of dream interpretation to the best of my ability in simple ways so you don't get lost in the details.
Yeah.
And so I have those courses available for me. The other thing is if you can go out and you can listen to someone tell you a story. I do this exercise in my dream classes when I teach them. I'm going to start doing more this next year. I think
Okay.
I'm going to focus on doing more dream interpretation courses, like in certain places where
Mhm.
people can come in, and then
Yeah.
we do exercises where
Yeah.
you can learn. And I teach them, I want you to have someone tell you a story, a 1 minute. It's a 1 minute story, 1 minute. And I put them on a clock, a
Mhm.
timer. 1 minute. Make it a happy story, a vacation, a wedding, something that's happy. Listen intently to what the person says to you, and then repeat back to them what you just heard them say. And then tell them, this is why I think you told me this story. What does that do? That awakens you to the ability to hear and to
Mm.
see it as a picture. You
Yeah.
see it like a puzzle being put together.
Yeah.
And so then, as the puzzle's being put together, I can visualize it. And when
Mhm.
I visualized it, it showed me a whole picture. And when I told them back what they just told me, sometimes the interpretation was just in telling them what they just said,
Mm.
because now they have a picture of it.
Yeah.
Do you see what that is
Yes.
like? And so,
Yes.
and then I had to decide, when you see something evil, I always flip it for good. Whatever Satan means for evil, you turn it for good,
Yeah.
right?
Yes.
So you want to be able to flop it back and go, well, this is what your dream said, but this is what God has for you.
Yes.
Because whatever Satan's got planned, it's not going to happen, because we're just breaking it off.
That's right.
We're just
Yep.
cutting that thing right off. It's not going to have its intended purpose for you in your
Yes.
life.
That's so good.
Yeah.
That's a great place to start, and I think
Mhm.
we all have to start somewhere, and intent listening is a really good key into
Mhm.
dream interpretation. Let me give you a couple here
Okay.
quickly, and you can share with the people watching what they mean. So the first one was, I was recently praying for someone. These are all dreams. I was recently praying for someone that the Lord would heal their heart. In a vision, oh, this is a vision, excuse me. In the
It's
vision,
okay.
I saw Jesus take what I perceived to be honey and rub it on the person's heart. Then Jesus sat at a wooden table, took the jar of honey, and proceeded to pour the honey slowly and straight in line directly onto the table. How should I interpret this act?
Well, honey has got so many healing properties in it.
Mm.
It's actually a medicinal cure for a lot of different things. And there's been a lot of teaching about honey and why it is so important, for it's nature. It's a nature's way of healing things. And I think because it was poured over the heart first, that's
Mhm.
always where your life is. It's poured over your heart, but it affects your entire life. It goes to all of your organs. And that's why it was poured onto the heart first, but then it was also poured onto the table, which tells me it's made for many.
Wow.
It's made as a recipe of healing and health for many, not just the one. So what was intended for just one person's healing will be intended for more
Wow.
people to come to a table. And it also, tables represent, he prepares a table for us in the presence of our enemies. It's Psalm 23. So anytime you see a table, it has to do with community. It has to do with breaking bread. It has to do with being able to be fed
Mm,
or to be cured in that case of honey, or to be healed, you know. And it's a pure medicinal um, remedy
mhm.
for people that are sick. So you can look up the properties of honey, um, and it'll shock you how important it is. And we, again, just put it on our peanut butter and go about whatever.
Right,
So, mhm.
but
Or
there's
put it
more
in our
for
tea
that.
or coffee or whatever,
Yes,
but it's
yes.
medicinal. Yeah.
That's beautiful. Okay, another one, from Anne. I had a dream last week of a pastor handing me two steaks. These were big, juicy, meaty steaks he cooked and just took off the grill. Then he was baking in the oven. He pulled out these hot, air fluffy rolls from the oven, and they were the most light, fluffy rolls I've ever seen. I took a bite and said, "Wow, these are so good." When I said that, he packed the rest of them in a big brown bag and gave them all to me. I remember the bag was full to the brim with these light, fluffy rolls. So in the dream, he served me two big, juicy steaks in a big bag of air, fluffy rolls. End of dream.
Hmm.
So she'd like to know what that meant.
Okay. Um, Steaks, meat is warrior food.
Mm,
It's warrior food. It's what you need in order to do battle. That's
wow.
why you need it. It's full of iron. It's full of protein. You know, it gives you strength.
Mm,
And then the rolls are just a like a dessert, like a handle on purpose, like something sweet. So it was a mixture of something to strengthen you in your battle and something to give you comfort,
mm,
to give you something to take home, take with you. That, you know, the rolls will be really soft. They won't go. It's kind of reminds me of manna a little bit, you know,
mm-hmm.
where it's going to be fresh and fluffy and it's edible and it's delicious and it won't make you fat. This, I don't think these rolls will make you fat, but yeah, anytime you hear about meat, it has to do with warrior food. It has to do with something that you need in order to give you the strength and agility that you need for some kind of life or battle or something coming up. Usually, steaks also can represent very, you know, it's an important. It's like expensive,
Mm,
you know, it's an expensive type of meat that, you know, you just, if you have royalty or someone important coming to your house, you don't feed them fish sticks, you know, from the
that's right.
freezer. You give
Yeah.
them a steak and you give them
Yeah.
something that's good and that is honorable
Yeah.
toward feeding them. So you can look at it either way, but I always think of meat being warrior food, or food that will give you all the nutrients that you need
Mm,
for you know, for your iron. You've got to keep your iron up. You got to keep your protein
yep.
up, and it's delicious. And
Do
the
you think
rolls are,
this was a like instructional dream, or do you think this was like there was a pastor in the dream? Did that pastor represent an actual pastor? Was that the Lord?
it could be, if they knew the pastor in the dream, that it has to do with him personally,
Okay.
giving you something that, you know, is going to be really good for you. And there were two of them. So God always counts, you know, he likes unity. Everything's in twos, you know. It's
Yeah.
not good for man to be alone. You need
Yeah.
you need two. So that was for a joint effort of some kind, or, and he, because he didn't eat them himself, he was feeding you or
Yeah.
feeding that person.
Yeah. Yeah.
So them and another partner or someone else to go with them. So
That's
yeah.
awesome. That's great.
Hmm.
Okay. We'll do one more. So
Okay.
Katie said, leaving the boat. In this dream, I had the same scene repeat itself over and over. I'm on a boat on the water. I keep trying to get off the boat and have to go through the water. Every time I leave the boat, I find myself back on the boat again, trying to leave. While this is all happening, I see planes falling out of the sky. They weren't landing properly. In one of the fragmented scenes of being on the boat, I met the captain. I would feel relieved once I was off the boat, but concerned to see the planes falling out of the sky.
Hmm. Yeah, it's not time for you to get off the boat yet.
Okay.
You're along for the ride. And there's certain things that because you want to get off doesn't mean that your time is ready for you to get off the boat. And a boat usually represents it represents universal things. It takes you from one continent to another. It
Mm,
takes you across deep waters.
mm,
And the thing about planes falling out of the sky, it could be usually in a dream. For Christians, I would say prophetic ministries, things that had been flying at one point, but they're no longer flying. They're
mm,
falling, and they're falling into the ocean, and you were concerned about that because if you're on a plane,
mhm,
then it has to do with you being on a anytime you're flying in a dream or you're on a plane in a dream, it
uh-huh,
has to do with you having the ability to see from another level. So you
okay,
can see something. That's why it would be a prophetic type of a thing.
okay,
And I think there's certain things that are being maybe brought down at this time that
mhm,
just don't serve a purpose, and they need to be, they're just not going to, they've been maybe given the understanding that they need to land or take it down or not use this anymore, but they haven't done it and they've tried to do it in their own strength, and it doesn't give them the strength to keep going. So it
mm,
ends up, you know, um, falling basically
mhm,
out of a place, and it's happening. I
yep,
mean,
yep,
but being on the boat, wanting to get off the boat, trying to get off the boat, getting in the water, get back on the boat, it reminds me of a kind of a little bit of Jonah. you know, it's like you're
yeah,
not going anywhere. In fact, I just told that to somebody the other day. I said, well, you know what? If you keep fighting God, God's going to appoint a fish. You're going to be in
mm,
the water one way or another, but God's going to appoint a fish to swallow you up. You're going to spend 3 days in the belly of a big fish, and they're going to be vomited up on the place that you need to be.
yeah,
And I was thinking how funny in reality. I mean, look at that in real life. Can you imagine
oh my
what that
gosh,
guy smelled like? Being in the belly of a big fish
wow,
and it wasn't a whale. It says he appointed a fish
mhm,
to swallow him up.
yeah,
And so I just think about stay on the boat. Stop trying to get off of what God's got you on right now
that's so
because
good,
it's going somewhere. It's an
yeah,
international probably type calling, and
yeah,
you're going to be on the boat. You may want to get off. You may think you feel safer, but there's a reason why you're not meant to get off yet.
yeah, that's
So,
so good, that's
yeah.
so good, Cindy. Well, everyone whose dreams and visions those were, they're so thankful that you shared because it can be so confusing to have a dream like that, where you're
Yeah.
on and off the boat, you're seeing these planes. What does that mean? So that's really great that you were able to share and also to even during your sharing you gave keys. This usually means this and this usually means this. And
Yeah.
so before we end today, can you just pray for everyone and then we'll
Sure.
talk a little bit about your upcoming conferences you're going to be at.
Yeah. Yeah. So I just want to pray for God to give you dreams. I want to
Amen.
pray for the Lord to open up your mind in the night season, just like we talked about in the verse of Job 33, that God would open up your mind and seal your instruction and give you understanding about things to come and where you are so that you stop circling around and around and around. I see a lot of people that are just anxious and
Mhm.
you're stirring and you're round and round and round and you don't know where to go, where to land, what to do. And I just feel like God's going to calm you.
Mm,
He's going to give you the ability to be strong and to be settled and to be still. And you've got to remember, we need to remember, and God bring it to our attention that He's fighting the battle for
mm,
us. It's not our battle. He's the one who fights the battle for us. We're with Him. We're in tandem with Jesus in this battle, but God is fighting the battle for us. And so I just want to pray for every person who's been educated or understanding something about dreams. I know this got a little heavy, but I pray that you would be comforted
mm,
and that you would understand that God loves you and He's going to anoint you. He's going to be with you. He's going to wrap His arms around you. He's going to settle your affairs. The other day I heard three things: a wake up call. I think I shared it on the last one. Wake up call, divine wake up, divine exposure, and divine vindication. And I
Yes.
think we're at a time now of divine vindication. Everything that the enemy has stolen from you, he's tried to rob from you, he's tried to abort in your
Mm.
life, God is going to give it back. The enemy has to pay it back 7 times.
Yes.
It is written, he has to repay you 7 times what he tried to steal from you.
Mm.
So I just want to say, don't blame God. God is not your problem. He is Jehovah Jireh. He is your provider. Don't blame your provider. Don't blame the one who is with you in battle to deliver you from it.
Yes.
And so I just thank you, Jesus. I know I'm prophesying and praying at the same time. It's like I can see it, but God's going to give you clarity of mind
Mm.
to be able to think correctly. He's going to remove all the stuff off of you that has
Mm.
been troubling you and causing you to just dive and up and down and up and down. And he's going to settle you
Mm.
in his will. He knows what he's doing. He knows what he's doing. He's got you. He's got you. He's got you. You know, I just a side note, I watch my little grandson, he's 4, every 2 weeks because my daughter's a pilot. She's a single mom. Any of you guys, you got guys out there that are like family guys, let me know. Anyway, that's the side. You can omit that. Anyway, um, but when his mama has to go to work because she's a pilot, and he cries, he wants to go on the airplane. He gets this little airplane roller bag, and he wants to go. And I go, I got you. Always get right down and I got you. I've always got you. I've always got you. And he just settles right down.
Mm.
And I just think that's God saying to us, I've got you. I've always got you. I've always got you. You're not alone. Your mama's coming back.
Yeah.
I've always got you. You're fine. You're good.
Oh.
We're going to have fun. This is grandma's week, you know? And so I just want to say that to you because I just think it's so innocent and it's something that people need to hear. God's saying, I got you. I got you. I know it's been hard. I know that it's been a challenging season for all of us. I know that it has been a turbulent time where you feel like my tears are never going to end.
Mm.
But God's like, I've got you. And I'm doing things behind the scenes. It's Romans 8:28. God is always working all things together for good to those who love him and who are called according to his purpose. And God has got you. So I just want to say that. And then what else am I supposed to say?
That's
Oh,
beautiful, Cindy. And then
about
share with us about the places you're going to be
upcoming.
going next.
Yeah,
Yes.
it's Statesboro, Georgia next week. Well, that's the outreach in 2027. So we're ahead of ourselves. But maybe we're already there in the spirit. We just don't know it. That is our outreach. This will be 16 years for us going to the
Wow.
outreach, to the porn convention in Vegas. And if you want to support and you want to help us go, that is most important. It costs a lot of money for us to go. And I know people have been so generous and so helpful to get us there. I have a team of about 15 people. And so we go in and we are available for 4 straight days in the porn convention to get a hold of these young girls and young guys who have fallen into the trap of delusion,
Yep.
basically,
Yep.
and have accepted this lifestyle. And they're
Mm.
hurting and they're broken and they want out and they need a mama. And so some of our team even wears mama hugger shirts, mother hugger. And so they'll come and they want to hug, they want a dream interpreted. The Freedom Wall is where they write out all of their things, their pain, their trauma, all the things. And we just tell them, let it go, let
Mm.
it go, let it go. Let's just have God settle in on you. And sometimes they'll say, my grandma or somebody's praying for me. I knew it. I knew it. And then here you are and you show up.
Yeah.
And so we're really
That's
careful with
awesome.
our words and with our language that we don't get kicked out.
Yes. Yes.
So there's that. I have
Okay.
a training in Statesboro, Georgia, reaching the unreachable. This will be to counterculture. How do you reach people that don't think God's real?
Mm.
How do we reach people that are caught up in same sex, or their kids are, or they're or they've been living a life that is somewhat acceptable to them, but it's not their organic life,
Yes,
It's
yes.
not what they're meant to do. It's not who they really are. Giving them identity and training up the church how to use your gifts. How do you use to communicate in love and not be judgmental and not be hard and not be telling people to repent when they don't even know what that means?
Mm-hmm.
And so we give them language, and I have them read the
That's
words that
great.
work before they ever get there
Great.
so that they can know what to do. The Austin one is coming up in October. Unconditional Love. This is going to be a weekend. I'm going to be doing a Friday night, all day Saturday, and then we're also I think I'm doing a Sunday morning too, at the House of Prayer. So it's going to be interesting. I think we're going to take teams out. I think we're going to take you
That's
out
great.
and get your feet wet in the Austin area.
That's
So
great.
that's always a kick because it's my tribe. It's
Yes.
what I love. I love going into places where people think they can't be reached. I love to
Yes.
go into places where people think they're too far gone. I'm like, nah,
Yeah.
I don't think God thinks that,
That's right.
And then the Burning Man, that's coming up this next week, actually, the
Oh, wow.
week before Labor Day. Always, always, always the week before Labor Day. And I have one team going out there. Everything, they had stuff stolen this last year from their camp. I said, "Where was your camp?" And they said, "We had it in a storage area." And people got in there and started stealing things and taking things because, you have to take that up to the Black Rock Desert of Nevada. So
Uh-huh.
you need storage units in order to store your camp so that you're not dragging it all over the nation trying to get to the Black Rock Desert, right?
Right.
And so somebody got into their storage unit and stole their
Oh,
tent, and they stole a bunch of stuff. So
wow.
we're getting funding, we're getting money to help replace their tent and their
Yes.
stuff so they can function out there.
Yes. It's already hard enough to
Oh my
be out
gosh.
there. That's such a call to be there. So,
It is.
yes.
I'm not going out there personally anymore. I went for about 18 years.
Wow,
And
Cindy.
I know, and I've been at the porn convention 16 years. So somebody
Wow.
ought to pray for me. And anyway, but I got playa lungs. So the dust is really fine and it's alkaline as a dry riverbed. So when you breathe it in, you can have a mask on, but it can still get into your lungs. And I
Wow.
thought I had pneumonia. I thought
Oh
I had pneumonia
gosh.
twice. And but there came a time when God said, "I want you to hand it off." And now I've got a great
That's
team going
wonderful.
out there. So if you want to
I
help
can't wait to
donate,
hear
I
the
know, me either.
testimonies
I
because
said,
they're
take
always so
videos,
awesome.
get encounters, do
Yes.
all the things, send them to me. I'll get them up on our website so that people can see
Yeah.
these people and being brought out of darkness into
Yes.
light.
Yes. It's so great. I look forward to all of those
Yeah,
testimonies from the Burning Man and the porn convention because they're always just so the power
they
of God
are.
shows up
Oh, yeah.
so great in places like that.
Yeah,
So if you want to support Cindy and help her with any of these outreaches, please go to cindymcgill.org and that's where you can give and donate. Is that right,
that's
Cindy?
right. That's right.
Okay. And then also your books, are they on
They
cindymcgill.org
are.
or are they
They are.
Amazon? Okay.
Both.
Okay.
If you're out of the country, get it on Amazon because it's too expensive to try and send it over the water. Just get it on Amazon. But if you're in the country, we can get it out to you in a day's time.
Oh,
And
great.
so you've got Words That Work, Methods That End the Madness. That is a kind of an addendum to Words That Work. And everyone who's used the two books have had incredible success with counterculture.
That's great.
They have not been walled up. They haven't been told to shut up and get out of there. Um,
Awesome.
and they're raising up teams to go into all these different festivals.
That's
The
great.
witch festivals, the Wiccan festivals, any kind of festival that um, is outside the box, so to speak.
Mhm. Mhm.
And they're having tremendous success because we've got language that fits the
Yes.
culture, but it's still truth. It's
Yes.
truth. It's what Jesus did to the multitudes on the mountainside. He spoke in parables, and it says
Yep.
without one, he didn't talk to them at all. So we
Yes.
just kind of took his ways. Well, what does he do? well, he does this, you know? And
Yes.
then, of course, the dream book, What Your Dreams Are Telling You, um, Unlocking Solutions While You Sleep. We talked about that. So you can get any of these on the website, and they're all on Amazon as well. So,
Great, great. Cindy, thank you so much for coming on and sharing. I mean, we always learn so much when you're on with us, and I look forward to seeing you again and
yes.
hearing about all the things going on and more about dreams too. I love learning about dream interpretation. So
Yeah.
we pray you all have a wonderful weekend. Monday, Dr. Scott Young will be on the program, so we will see you back then. God bless you. We love you so much. Bye bye.
Bye.